It's my good friend. Is he here? Is it actually him? Wow. Chael P, give me a hug.
Ariel, how are you?
Come on, come in here. Oh, look at this.
This is something.
Can we hold on just a little longer? Wow.
This is great to see you.
It is wonderful to see you. The last time we did a show in person, do you remember this? March 11th, 2020.
Yes.
Ryan was there. We were at the seaport. You said, hey, you know, you're okay? You
Yes,
were
I'm good.
just showing off
No,
your
I'm
chest?
good. No, I'm very good. I'm very good.
We need to talk about those. You were said, if COVID's right here, I'm going to drink it. Do you remember this?
COVID's weak.
Yeah.
COVID never get me.
Look at this.
Could you imagine that, though? People are locking down. I am the epitome of health.
Yes.
If I can't handle COVID, you're all screwed.
Yes.
I mean, think of it in that perspective.
And you never got it.
On a true, I got it several times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I walked right through it. I don't mean to diminish it, but I do make a very serious point where you're locking down and stuff. If COVID's going to get me, you are all in big trouble.
That is true. Luckily, it seems like we're on the other end.
What's it like to have me here?
Nice.
You know, I hope this doesn't embarrass you.
No, this is great. Let's have fun.
Okay, because my wife grew up very poor.
Okay.
And when her
Miss
friends
Brittany.
found out, it greatly embarrassed her when they came over and they saw our house and things like that. I don't really know what that means. But to now see that you're relegated to a basement off of Vox Media in a neighborhood I've never heard of.
Sure.
I don't want this to embarrass you. I don't think that this should
You
affect
think I've gone from the penthouse to the outhouse?
Oh, buddy, I mean, we're underground here. I truly don't know the city we're in.
What are you talking?
So you think of New York?
Yeah.
New York has a feel. There's people that they're honking around. There's rude people, but there's also hot dogs and there's gyros and there's pieces of pizza. There is none of that wherever. I don't know where we are.
Financial
I'm not trying to be funny.
This is Wall Street.
It's disgusting.
This is like the epicenter of the business world.
It led to you, and I thought, what's my guy doing down here in the basement?
It's so weird that you say this because every time someone comes in, including the great KSI this past Wednesday, it's like, wow, what a setup.
Did they told you that? Because that's the polite thing to do.
Said, wow,
it would have been polite.
Eddie Hearn, best promoter in the business, said, look at this. Look at what you have here. Incredible scenes. You're the one that says, not impressed.
Well, but I don't mean to do that. I mean, if they told you, that's the etiquette. I just thought that you and I were close enough. I mean, you let Shevchenko come on here. Yeah, Shevchenko was on a Jon Jones card. Geez, I wonder why. But you never brought that up. You let that
What are you
roll.
trying to say?
What are you talking about? That's a heel right there.
What?
That's a heel woman on the card. Come on, man.
Why heel?
There's the fans. We don't know why these two are being. Come on. That isn't that right there. Shevchenko is the greatest fighter in the world that's never been a main event. Shevchenko isn't even headed to main event status. Now, the reason is because she plays cute, but she's a bad girl.
Amanda Nunes, Edmonton.
Be a bad girl.
By the way, did you hear her comment about Erin Blanchfield?
Yeah.
That was good. She called her a little puppy.
That's great stuff. That's who she really is. There's nothing wrong with being a heel, but she's a heel.
Okay, so what's wrong with that?
Nothing unless you're pretending that you're not.
But isn't that
when
brilliant?
You're coming out and you're, no, it's not brilliant if you're a co-main event. It's a brilliant effort. If you and I sit down and we hand her a script in 1998 and she goes with it, but 12 years later, she's not a main eventer, no, we screwed up.
But she has main evented. Amanda Nunes.
No.
Didn't happen?
She fought Amanda Nunes, I don't even know how long ago.
Yeah,
and don't make believe that did any numbers. I'm not even agreeing with you it was a main event. I'd have to go look it up. But if if that fight in a different division, in a different era of our time before Slap League even existed, took place, it's a little weird.
What a success that is, huh? Are you allowed to talk negatively about that?
I don't know much about Slap, but I will talk about it.
Yeah? Do you watch it?
I am sad that you're in the basement, though. But I'm happy to be here with you. I'd have brought you a sandwich. I'd have brought you something. I see you're in a sweater because there's no heat in this building. But I would have brought you something. I brought you hot
I'm actually going to see them. Wow. Can I try them on?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You are really blind. Wow.
I have a hard time.
How do they look, guys?
They actually look nice.
I feel like I'm getting to wear Babe Ruth's uniform right now.
I can only see them a little bit.
Michael Jordan's.
But they look pretty good.
Wow. So you upgraded.
Oh, well, I think so. I don't know.
The last ones had the little weird skull thing. What was that?
Okay, well, here's the problem is these are actual glass instead of lens, but that creates a weight. And that weight cuts into my nose. So for a period of time, I have marks.
Yeah, what's going on? Maybe they need to loosen that up a little bit.
You're the poor kid.
No, that's fine.
But I really didn't mean to do that. I wasn't trying to embarrass. But there is a make believe that you're in New York or you're in New Jersey or you live in New Jersey.
No, this is New York. This is financial.
We're in the middle of nowhere. There is no pizza outside. There is no Starbucks out. There is nothing. You were in the middle of nowhere, and then I went down.
Yeah,
I'm in a dungeon like a gopher right now.
Why are you here?
The biggest MMA show. Why did you invite me?
So it was a weird invitation.
Am I not supposed to tell people about the set? I want to know.
No, this is great.
Okay.
This is great. But it was a weird invitation because I got to tell you, can we break the fourth wall? Can we shoot? We have so much to talk about, by the way. I got a text from the great Bellator PR team. What about that belt, right?
That's
12 pounds of gold. And they were like, hey, if you want to have Chael on Tuesday, he's coming to do the Andrew Schultz show. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, everyone knows I'm Monday, Wednesday. You know, everyone knows I'm Mr. Monday afternoon. Why would you offer Tuesday? Number one. And you're flying Chael out to do the Andrew Schultz show? You're coming across the country to do that rinky-dink show, and you don't even tell me? You're coming to do a media tour for Bellator about their upcoming event, March 10th, SAP Center, lightweight tournament, and you didn't want to stop by me. Are we beefing? Do we have heat?
You and I?
Yes.
Most definitely not. It sounds like you and Bellator. I don't know, but I got to tell you on this.
So I called them out, and I think they changed your flight.
Okay.
Big power move on my part.
It was a power move. You made me look good. I mean, I was grateful for that. You really put me over, but I was surprised on the Andrew Schultz thing. I said that to the head of PR. I said, you're flying me in to do the Andrew. I said, you realize I do a show that is 12 times bigger than Andrew's show. Would you like me to just do a mention on my own show and never get on an airplane? And they're like, no, we'll just do Andrew's show. And I thought that's very nice. Andrew, he does a nice job. He seems like a nice guy. I'll meet him tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, to come to a media king and to go, I thought it was interesting.
And then
but here
only
I am.
one stop?
Yeah.
Not even stop by your old friend? I mean, haven't done a show together in person in 3 years. Nothing.
What's your, let's go Buffalo?
Buffalo, yeah. I'm a big Buffalo guy. You're a big football. I wore this for you because I see you tweeting a lot about, football.
So your first day.
Yeah.
I mean, they're rolling out the red carpet. They bring you into a basement. I mean, do they say something like, hey, I'm sorry, as they keep descending floor, because you keep cutting me off when I talk, but as you keep descending floors into darkness.
Yes.
Was it weird? Were they when they got their flashlight out, did they say to you, hey, Ariel, we're almost there?
I'm actually getting deja vu right now.
Okay.
You know why? First day at ESPN. The first thing they give me is this shirt. This is what I do. I brought out this shirt.
I won't bring the studio up anymore. I see that I've done something
wrong.
Go
on the single over here. Can you go on the single? Can you not see me? Oh, he can't see me. Mother F.
I can see that. I shouldn't have brought that up. I should see it. Yeah.
Right on the bad guy. That's the first thing I got at ESPN. And I remember when we were doing the show, did you
get that on the main floor? Could you see daylight from the floor? Or did they give that to you in the basement at ESPN?
It actually was basement.
Was it basement?
But, maybe a sign of my career. Listen. I remember we started doing some shows together. We had a critically acclaimed hit. I mean, they launched ESPN Plus with us.
Yeah.
Built it.
That's true.
For 2 or 3 months, and that's why I'm saying deja vu, stick with me. 2 or 3 months, it felt like we had legit heat. Do you remember some of those shows in the early days? You used to get really mad. Do you remember that?
I do.
What was that all about? Were you really mad at me or what? What was going on?
Whenever I am with somebody, see...
Tell us about it.
You will have debates on the business of MMA. It could be matches that are coming up. It could be what's going to draw. It could be a storyline. But you'll have a debate within MMA. And you'll have those, and I'll see you with your friends. I'll see the Chuck Mindenhalls and the Riamanis. These are really good people. To have that debate. But then if you, somewhere in that group, have access to me, we don't now continue having a debate. I will now tell you, little ones, what time it is. I will come in and I will tell you, here's the match to go with, or here's what should have been done, or here's what that referee should have called.
Right.
I thought that that's how you viewed me. I thought you viewed me as the final say. If you can't reach Dana, go to Chael.
Yeah.
And when I found out that you don't, that you thought you have the right to an opinion that can live in the same bubble with my opinion, it pissed me off.
It did, legit.
It did.
I'm
not crazy about the fact that we keep changing the topic, that you're down here like a little gopher in a dungeon. I'm not crazy about the fact that nobody on your team's offered me a water, coffee, or a place to wash my hands. I'm not crazy about the fact that when I came in here, there's truly nobody up. I wasn't worried about getting mugged. If I'm in New York and I feel like I'm not going to get mugged, I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere. You call it a financial district. Trust me, there's no money upstairs. I'm not crazy about the fact that Valentina came on and told you about some lake that's 100 meters. Shut up, Valentina. Let's start with that, Valentina. Tell the world why you demanded to be on the same card as Jon Jones. Let's start with that. Let's send some really good gossip out there and let the people know who you really are, Miss Heel, and maybe I can get you off of the undercard.
This is incredible.
She's getting headlined by a guy named Cyril Gahn.
Yes.
There is one heavyweight in all of meaningful. Coker, Chachery, Dana, you bring them all together. There's one heavyweight that's name is out there anywhere in the ranking that's never had a wrestling match and doesn't have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And that's the one they went and found, and they're going to try to put a world title around. He's 1-1 in his last 2. That guy sucks. And the biggest conversations I have on Surreal is with John Anik, where I'm arguing how you say his last name. And it's actually Gone. It's like Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
These are my arguments. This is the guy that's 1 win away from being a world champion. Oh, and by the way, Shevchenko's jerking the curtain for him. There's a problem with your career if you get to that point. If you're a 5-time world champion and you're jerking the curtain for a guy that doesn't have a black belt, you have a problem in your career. And you should not come on Ariel's show and talk about lakes and talk about the length of the lake.
Do you want to water?
Talk about why you demanded to come here at the same time that he did. Give the people a little bit of gossip.
Okay, do you want water?
No.
Do you want a coffee?
What would you do if I said yes?
I could get you. I have Prime. Do you want Prime? You ever try this Prime?
No. I'd try it if you had it. Do you really have it?
I really do, right?
I would try it.
What color do you want? What flavor do you want?
Well, red if you have it.
Okay, well now it's very dark back here. Frank, I could use a little, okay, I think I got it. How about this, Chael? I mean, we treat you so well back here.
What do you got?
Tropical punch?
Oh, I'll try a tropical punch.
That?
Thank you very much.
Courtesy of my good friend Logan Paul.
I may, do you want some?
No, go
just
ahead.
help myself?
Go ahead, you see? You didn't think that I would be able to deliver
You
it.
got off that Valentina Jon Jones.
No, we got a lot to talk
I started to draw a bridge there for you.
Can I tell you something?
You started to go, whoa, that's a little
You
hot
mentioned
for me.
Chatri, you mentioned Coker,
Sure.
Dana. We could throw in PFL. It's nice,
Mentioned
right?
Jones and Shevchenko.
Yeah. I
On the
think
same
you
card.
put
What
all
a
those guys in
surprise.
the same room. I think I'd be a better promoter, a better businessman.
Did somebody entrust
all of
you
them.
with Shevchenko Jones gossip?
No.
that
I'm just saying.
You're worried that we're.
I'm just saying, like, because you were. I'm going.
I
back
thought
to
I was bringing it to you.
I'm going back to the comment that you
now I'm
made
thinking that somebody entrusted you
about me
and you're
not
knowing
being able
stay
to
away
weigh
from
in.
that
I
topic.
think I could run these organizations better than them. What do you think about that? I think I have a better mind
Well,
and know what the public wants.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. It runs really fast. I feel like a lot of people miss that.
What?
It moves really fast. There's a lot of checker players out there. Here, let me just give you a great example. Deontay Wilder was on TV last night.
Yes.
And Deontay Wilder, much like Francis Ngannou, was bragging about this status of being free.
He's not happy with you right now.
Where they don't understand is nobody looks at that freedom as a good thing except them. Like, by example, Dana White, Scott Coker, Chachery, they don't look at you with your free status, I can do anything, as a loyal guy. They look at you as an unloyal guy. The rest of them look at you and go, why did Eddie Hearn not lock you up? Or they look at France and go, what does Dana White know that he let you go? And that's the part that those two guys missed. All they have collectively done together is they're now unemployed together. And it's a mistake. And I only say that because, when you talk about you could run it, you certainly have a very good mind. I just share with you that you got to do it every single day. They go every single Saturday.
Well, I do this.
That's hard to do.
I do this.
Sure.
Listen, it's not.
You definitely contribute.
By the way, it's not that hard to put on D-level events in an empty room. I mean, we have to admit the level of quality has gone down dramatically. Do you not agree?
I agree.
I mean, are you watching these cards every week?
No.
It's become McDonald's.
Yeah.
Right? They have to hit a certain number, and that's it.
Okay.
Is that good or bad? I feel like that's not good.
Well, if you were running it, though, I mean, you said that you could. If you were running it, you'd have, you'd have to put on those matches.
Sure. But I mean, anyone could put on matches. The thing is, they've got a great deal. What happens with the next TV deal? Sure. When ESPN's like, you know what, we need a better product. Because it wasn't always like this. The pandemic was a great thing and also a bad thing for the UFC. It was a great thing because it got them out there. They become a hell of a lot more popular. People are talking about them, gambling on them, this, that, and the other. But also, it showed them that they could run events at the apex. No one will bat an eye. And let's be honest, the level of those, events, the quality, subpar. Sure. It's not what they used to have to do in the Fox era when they had to go to arenas all over the country or the world and put on events to sell tickets, correct?
Sure.
Problem.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a little bit of a problem.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but I also think it's a time, to go and test free agency. It's very risky right now.
Why?
I don't see why a guy would do it. And I'll just share with you the other side of the card where Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou think that they're in this great spot and all the hey, that means you can talk to me. That's not how the promoters are looking at it. They're looking at going, man, you don't have a loyalty to anybody. Somebody helped to get you here. Somebody made you rich. Somebody made you famous, and you didn't stay loyal to him.
No, hogwash.
What am I going to do?
What do you mean?
What am I going to do?
What are you talking about? Francis Ngannou was with one promoter his whole career. He finally became free. Why does that make him disloyal?
So you think he's going to get grabbed up? Because he hasn't been.
He hasn't been. It's been a month.
It's a month of unemployed, which is what I'm claiming.
Yeah, but he's playing the field. He's talking
so
to
how
people.
long does he have?
I mean,
well, why
don't you say the same about Nathan Diaz? Hasn't fought since September.
What other walk would you compare that to in life? I mean, give me any other walk
Diaz?
Where you look around and there's a girl that everybody had a shot at and they passed on, and you go, God, that's the one for me. Just give me an example and I'll be quiet. Tell me a pet store. Tell me give any walk in life. You go into a pizza and there's pizza by the slices and one is left and all the rest of them are gone. I want the one that's like, you tell me one example.
You expected
in life
him.
Where this is
it would have been a huge mistake had he signed a deal in the last month.
Okay.
Talk to everyone.
Why is that?
Because that means you're not looking at all your options. You're not, and plus he's looking
that's
at
what I'm here to share
two
for you.
sports. He's looking at two sports.
Okay.
Very rare.
Sure.
Right? No?
Sure.
He's got options coming from this avenue
Is
and
this
that
a sponsor,
avenue.
by the way?
No.
Okay. It tastes okay. Okay.
Don't love it?
Well,
First time?
It's definitely sugary. It's too sugary, but it does taste okay. I mean, I got to give them that.
First time you try it?
First time I've tried it.
Ever. You know, kids are trying to buy those like for $1,000 in the UK. I mean, that's liquid gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
You owe us big time.
It does have a nice taste. It really does.
Well,
but it's a little sweet.
I'm very surprised by your statement, and then I'm wondering what you think about Nathan Diaz.
You know.
right? Because he's been free since September.
Sure.
And?
Yeah. Well, they're all very different scenarios.
Why?
I mean, there's a number of free agents out there right now, and I'm not telling you, but there's only a few guys that were offered millions of dollars and decided to walk into Nothingville instead. There's only a few guys, and you're not doing the same comparison if you take a champion of a division versus a guy that fought out his contract within a division. It's just not apples to apples.
Okay.
And I would share that with you. I mean, I watched Deontay Wilder. I watched him with the little head thing on and trying to appease. He barely got the words out to the interview last night in a building that I couldn't yet to name for you, of a card of I don't know who funded, on a network that I work for. That whole thing was on ESPN Plus. I found that out yesterday. I sat down to watch that fight on Saturday because that's when people fight. Turned out there was none. Turns out it's on Sunday on a network I work for, and nobody even told me that the fight was on. So I think the thing was a little bit of a miss, and where these guys are, I got this bravado. We don't really need bravado, Deontay. What we need is a promoter. We need backing. We need distribution. There's a lot of things that make this go forward, and having a dum-dum that can move his hands in this direction is the least of them.
Did you watch the fight?
No.
You didn't watch it?
I tried to watch it. My plane took off. I tried to watch it.
Ah, geez.
Yeah.
You heard what happened?
Yeah.
And your thoughts?
I was surprised. I was surprised in a number of areas. I mean, the fact that it was on ESPN Plus and I didn't know that, truly does piss me off. Somebody really failed to do that. And it wasn't you. You had all these guys on. You even had Mike Perry on. You were the driving force of this whole thing, but you didn't tell us where we could get it.
I think I did.
Nobody knows what venue that was in to this day. Now, none of us felt like we were invited to get a ticket and come down there anyway, but to have a promotion in a venue that none of us have even heard of is a little bit weird. It was a very beautiful job, but those things have always been exhibitions. The Pauls are fighting in these exhibitions. Logan and Floyd Mayweather are fighting exhibitions. Last night, for some reason, they decided to raise one of the guy's hands. And the whole thing felt weird.
What are you talking about?
It felt very weird.
They're not exhibitions. What are you talking about? Woodley fight was an exhibition.
They weren't exhibitions?
No.
Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones that started this whole thing, that wasn't an exhibition?
First of all, it didn't start the whole thing. Second of all, what does that have to do with Jake Paul?
What did?
I mean, honestly, you could make a case for Mack. Mayweather-McGregor started it all, 2017.
Wow, really? You think that would be one of these crossover matches? That was sanctioned by Nevada.
Sure.
They went 12 full rounds.
Well, not really. They could have.
They were scheduled for 12 full rounds. Sure. In front of an actual commission.
But that was a pro fight.
I agree that's a pro fight. I'm surprised that you brought it in. What I'm
I'm saying like last night was a pro fight.
I understand that now.
Yeah.
I understand that now.
Anderson was a pro fight.
But I understand these things now. I felt like going into it, that wasn't a good job of being explained. I feel like when Mayweather and Paul fought, we should have got to some resolution. What they did when Jones and Tyson fought, the way they left the ring and they did it, the audience doesn't know why they did that, and they did that to get around the California. I understand those things, but then last night all of a sudden they decided to proclaim a winner. It's like, okay, where does he go from here?
Who's he, Jake?
Yeah, and the other guy, Fury.
Oh, Tommy. Well, this was really about Jake, in my opinion. Fury wants the immediate rematch, right? There's no other big fight for him. The question is, to me, Jake losing that fight kills the Nathan Diaz fight.
Sure.
That was going to be a big fight. Agree?
Yeah.
Can't do it. Looks like he wants an immediate rematch. Does anyone care?
With Fury versus Paul, nobody cares.
Right.
No, and Fury's saying he wants the rematch?
Oh, yeah. There's a rematch clause.
Okay.
And so Jake, if he exercises it, gets it.
All right. Tommy from the Bronx tells me that to be standing by, that Nate Diaz is calling out the Fury kid soon.
Logan Paul.
Like today.
He called out Logan Paul.
He already did that.
Like he pretty much said this kid needs to get, you know who Logan is. Logan is the other one.
Yeah.
The one who fought Floyd. Mm-hmm. The one who's in WWE. The one who owns this brand.
Yeah.
Do you have interest in that?
I would have a limited interest in it. If anybody's fighting on a Sunday, I don't care. I mean, I guess I'll just start with that.
It doesn't have to be Sunday.
Yeah, but if you fight on a Sunday, I'm out. Just so you understand.
What about WrestleMania?
If you choose the Lord's Day to go and do a fight, I'm out. I personally am out. I'm out on these guys. I didn't want to watch it yesterday. I didn't help. But I really want it on a Sunday. There's something weird about that. It's like them taking my favorite media guy and stick him in the basement of a place in New York that doesn't even have bums circling the block. Because I don't even know where we are, man. I don't know how they got you to come in here.
Where are you staying?
I think you need to hold your health to a higher standard. Nobody's putting Chael P in a basement. I'll tell you that much.
That's true. By the way, you know you've been here before, right?
To a hole in the wall.
Yes.
This place is disgusting.
By the way, you say you work for ESPN Plus.
This really was very
How's the show going?
My show?
Yeah.
I haven't done a show. I didn't work for ESPN in at least all of last year. At least.
Maybe that's why you didn't know that the show was on last night.
Well, I mean, come on. Those guys didn't tell people what network it was. They didn't tell people it was on ESPN Plus. That's a miss by them.
ESPN,
They started the announcement for this, just so you understand, 5.5 weeks ago, which I liked.
Sure.
Now, 5.5 weeks is stolen from Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is the only meaningful boxer or pay-per-view draw that does a 5.5 week announcement. Everybody else is closer to 12 weeks, and it's too long. I've always loved that about Floyd. Even when it was Floyd versus Pacquiao, which they believe to be the biggest boxing fight ever, it was 5.5 weeks. These guys, if I can correct myself, did 4.5 weeks. They announced it. 4.5 weeks later, they were in the ring. They fought on a Sunday on a network that I work for that I didn't know. I mean, really, somebody made a mistake here to not let the world know when it was. And any fight on a Sunday moving forward, I am out.
You're not going to talk about it.
Fight on a Friday or fight on a Saturday.
You're not going to YouTube about it. You're not going to do segments. Because I looked at your YouTube channel last night. A lot of segments on it. A lot of clips.
Yeah.
But it's because you didn't know. It's because you thought it was Saturday.
But I wouldn't blame myself. That is their fault. What are you doing fighting on a Sunday? That's just stupid.
Can I tell you why?
It truly is stupid.
Saudi Arabia is paying a lot of money. I'm going to give you some actual facts here. They're paying a lot of money for these events, and they had paid a lot of money for a horse race on Saturday, and they didn't want to go head-to-head.
Sure.
How do you feel about all these events in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I don't know that I
feel like in 2 months we might see you out there with one of the things.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a thought on that. I thought that they did a very nice show. I thought that it was a very beautiful event last night. I would like to know the name of the arena. I'd like to know that people.
I don't think there is a name
down there, but
I think it was like a makeshift arena.
Well, they did it. Production looked very good.
Yeah,
I got to give them that. Yeah.
Do you think the Jake Paul thing is dead now?
No, I don't think so. Losses a lot of times can really hurt people. That was Roy Jones's. The whole reason Roy's still fighting isn't a millionaire is because nobody could beat him. Or the fact that Jon Jones, sells tickets that are dressed up like empty seats, thousands and thousands of because nobody can beat him, right? If he would have had a loss somewhere in there, if you would have just created the idea in somebody's mind that you were penetratable. So no, I don't know that a loss hurts. A loss just helps to add the validity, helps to make it real.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If he would have won that fight, there'd be a lot of people that are claiming work. I mean, a lot of people are claiming work on this whole experience in the first place, which they shouldn't be. But they are. There's people, you brought up Mayweather, McGregor, and Mayweather carried him. And I mean, we have to live with this level of ridiculousness. So, no, I think that a loss sometimes is just what an honest adjudication has. I don't have a problem with it.
What's your level of excitement for this weekend?
Well, okay, you got a guy that took 3 years off versus a guy that's 1-1 in his last two. I mean, that's just the reality. I don't know if we've had a less deserving heavyweight match in a meaningful period of time. I mean, we've got a heavyweight that we were plagued with that didn't even want to be here. He wants to go over and be a boxer, but we've got him. He won the belt, and we've got to sit with him. And now we get a guy that's 1-1 in his last two versus a guy that quit the sport 3 months ago and has never competed in the division. I mean, as far as where we're at in the heavyweight division, it's pretty slim pickings.
Okay, so it doesn't feel big for you.
We had the youngest ever UFC champion is now the oldest #1 contender in the UFC. That's just a reality.
Still hasn't lost.
Yeah.
Undefeated, undisputed.
Yeah. Are you one of those truthers?
What?
He gets disqualified, he loses, but he didn't really. It was young.
What, the Matt Hamill fight?
Yeah.
You consider that a loss?
Did he win it? Or did he lose it?
The Dominic Reyes fight is more of a loss than that one.
Well, he for sure lost to Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
You could argue to Gustafsson in the first one. Reyes probably not much.
Reyes for sure, I thought.
Reyes was for sure, yeah. But I'm talking about reality. Like, we can sit here and do that to be fun. One is, of course he lost to Matt Hamill. What are we doing? Don't be stupid.
I mean, it's a bogus call. No one ever calls that.
Sure, fair enough. Did he win or did he lose? I mean, do you see the problem? It's like we can rewrite history. We can rewrite history, or we can just tell it the way that it happened.
What about like some people say asterisk, first DC fight, nothing. Second DC fight gets caught, right?
Sure.
Do you feel like the whole thing we can call into question the whole career, the whole run is under a cloud, right? Because of the PEDs?
Probably. I don't know. I can't. I lose track of when he got caught the first time, or when I lose track of that.
It was prior to 200.
He fought OSP clean. I can tell you that. He fought OSP clean. I think he's clean for this one.
You think so?
He's making some pretty big claims that just generally a cheater wouldn't make.
Like what?
So yeah, I mean, I personally think that he's probably clean.
Do you think he was clean against you?
No, heavens no.
No.
Oh my God.
You could tell?
Oh my God. Oh, Ariel, it's not. We know our own. Yes.
Really?
Yes, I could tell very easily.
The strength, the body.
Sure, it would be the body. I mean, it would start with your delts, it would go to your nipples, then it would be the upper abs or the three big tails. But yes, of course. I had more juice than Tropicana, and he pushed me around like a Mack truck versus
Did they not test
As
before
soon
that
as
fight?
we locked up with each other, I thought, ooh, I know you. As he's pushing me backwards before he with his big spinning elbow, I remember thinking, I know your secret, because I got the same one.
Did they not test New Jersey?
Yes, they tested, but we did, back then it was an IQ test, not a drug test. We didn't have USADA. So they had to tell us when they would come in and test.
So you really have to be a dummy to...
Yeah, or just be getting bad advice. Yeah. You could be getting bad advice. There was people that failed those and didn't deal with it.
What percentage of the guys do you think are juicing now? Because you never hear of any failed tests anymore.
No, you don't hear of it very much. I tell you, it was very small. Like right when USADA stepped in, just watching TV, you watched The Incredible Shrinking Man. We had champions that have never won another fight since USADA stepped in. Several champions. People can go do their own research. We had people that were leaving divisions and, again, becoming shrinking men. But then that stopped, and they're starting to come back, and your eyes are starting to tell you. And, USADA made a colossal mistake by telling people that they can't use the IV. Nobody understood fully that you could flush PEDs if you use an IV until USADA came out and said no more IVs. That was the light that flipped on in everybody going, okay, this is how you beat them. And it was a big miss by USADA. I get why they did it, and they you had to weigh one of two things, but it was a miss. Not very many people were on to the fact that you could flush it until they banned it.
Do you think that you should be allowed to use IVs?
Well, IV is not a substance; it's a form of administration, so of course you should.
Okay. So this whole thing with Islam, much ado about nothing?
No, absolutely not. If Islam had an IV and he didn't disclose it, not to mention the milliliters that were used, it's of course relevant.
No, but I'm saying, like, of course there's a rule that says, 150. By the way, they changed this rule. They didn't tell anyone.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, they're like, oh, yeah, look, in 2019, we made this change. What?
Yeah.
All right, fine. But are you saying it doesn't really give you an actual performance? Or are you saying if you're taking this before a fight, it's because you're doing other stuff?
Well, no, I don't know that I would be saying either. I mean, I'd have to stop you right there. That is a misconception created by the media. That's not by USADA. That is by the media that says it has to be a performance enhancer. There is nothing under the guidelines that say a banned substance is a performance enhancer. By example, there's a number of performance-enhancing substances that are legal. But there's a number of things that are not legal that don't enhance your performance. So that's a creation by the media. There's a banned list, an approved list, and an unapproved list. And yes, if he was, and we're talking about Islam here, if he was given an IV, and I know the answer to this, I know whether he was or not, and he didn't disclose it, he's got a little bit of a problem. And he's got to know how many he had is a little bit of a problem. Now, this is in hindsight. This is whoever this nurse is with the big mouth, like she's not going to get called forward and brought forward. Sure. This is a dead issue. But if you're asking me about IVs under the scope of USADA, sure, he's got to follow the rules.
Did he take it?
Well, I'm not going to answer.
Okay. You said you knew the answer.
Yeah.
You do know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're pleading the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
You know I had to ask that, right? Like,
for sure. And that's annoying by me. That's annoying what I just did. Yes, you did have to do that, and that was annoying for me to say that. But, I will just share with you, whoever the big mouth nurse is that thinks like this is going to be her 15 minutes of fame, she's a scumbag. She never should have opened her mouth. If she comes into somebody's room and she takes a fee and she's doing something that's a medical procedure that she deems is appropriate and necessary, and then later finds out that and then starts speaking up to Dan Hooker and the gang, that she's no good.
How do you feel about Hooker?
Love him.
Love him.
Dan Hooker's one of my favorite.
You have no problems with his tweets?
No, Dan Hooker's backing his guy. Of course not. Dan Hooker's backing his guy. Now, understanding the rules and the policies, that's tough for anybody. I mean, we get lawyers that come in and dig these things apart. Hooker thought he found an actual violation. I'm sharing with you that's not going to hold up. The big mouth and her IV and whatever her story is, that's not going to hold up. But she also shouldn't be telling in the first place. But no, Hooker's not wrong, particularly for backing his guy. And what else is going on at 155, man? I mean, I'm telling you, we got a guy that's 1-1 in his last two is about to fight for a heavyweight championship. Go look at what's going on down there. Right. Yair Rodriguez fought Josh Emmett, according to Volkanovski, because neither one of them wanted to fight him, and Volk's right. Volk actually said that. He said, you know what, you guys asked me should I have Emmett, or you asked me if I should have Rodriguez, but neither Emmett or Rodriguez has ever called me out, and he's right. He goes, have them go fight each other. Just stay away from me for a little bit. I don't have time for you two. And he's right. Then Rodriguez and Emmett have a fight, and they told nobody. Nobody knew they were fighting. I mean, like, more people know Valentina Shevchenko exists than even though that fight was going to happen when their music was walking them. Then you've got the landscape at 55 right now where we have no number one contender. We know that it should be Benny Dariush, but the problem is he's busy, and we would really like it to be Fitzayev, but the problem is he's busy. So now we got no number one contenders. We're told that Islam was a top 5 draw of all time. So what you give to your top 5 draw of all time is you make him unemployed. He might as well be with Francis and Deontay sitting on ESPN Plus on a Sunday. If you don't have a contract and you don't get to go to work, what difference does it make? So now they're going to stick him in timeout because Rodriguez and Volkanovski have to go box. I don't get the whole thing, man. Make the fights you can make when you can make them. If you get 2 guys that want to fight, let them fight.
Should they run it back?
Did you hear anything?
It was good. I mean, but I gotta.
Did you hear anything that I just said? You want to know where that frustrates me? Should we run it back? You want to know where that frustrates me? That's not a vernacular. That's not the way we speak. Robbie Lawler said that the night he fought Scott Smith. He looks up at and says, "Let's run it back." And now you have people saying that.
Why? I mean,
you want to know how old I am? 45 years old. But if you have a Conor McGregor fan, I am 45 years of age. And people have actually changed it. Daniel Cormier turned to fight. This was my favorite because I was there.
Right.
Daniel Cormier came on the set of ESPN and turned a fight down with Curtis Blades. He told Curtis, "You're very good, but you, young man, will never share the octagon with me." And now we have to hear about should we run it back? Years of age, share the octagon. These aren't vernaculars. Kid, this isn't how people talk. If those 2 guys want to fight, let them fight. Are they willing to do it within their agreement, within their contract? Do we got to have a whole discussion, or can we get 2 guys together and have them fight? Even a city as disgusting as Perth, because they've already done it once, and you said it was a record number. If it was, let them do it again.
I think the record number was in Melbourne, Australia.
Sure.
By the way, you tweeted something.
But why would you get in the way with it? Right? If you're a fight promoter, you're trying to bring this together. If you have 2 guys who want to fight, God damn it, let them fight.
But I don't think Islam wants
Who are you to step in and go, "Well, no, I'm not going to let them fight." They want to fight.
So you're saying they should
fight.
You're saying they should do it again.
If I have a builder, I have a construction company, I got a builder and he wants to go build, I'm not going to send him home for the day. If I got a painting company, I got a guy that wants to go and paint, I'm not going to tell him not to paint for the day. You got 2 fighters, and they want to do this. Let them do this.
Okay, got it. I just don't know if Islam wants to do this. That's my thing.
Well, I don't know. He already did it once.
Sure. You tweeted something. If like the rankings mean anything, Volkanovski will still be number 1. So you have Volkanovski as number 1 pound for pound.
Sure.
There it is, right there. The sinking integrity of our rankings committee. By the way, they have no. I mean, I'm not even sure they're real people.
Yeah, that's right.
Will be out to the test. My eyesight sucks.
Put to the test.
Put to the. See, look at that.
Yep.
I think you wrote out.
I did.
Okay.
I misprinted it, but
Tuesday at 9 a.m. They have a chance to leave Volkanovski pound for pound number 1.
Yep.
Meaning you have him number 1.
Yep.
Why do you have him number 1 despite the loss?
This was a big problem to start with. So you got DraftKings carries this fight at 3-1 Islam. 3-1 from the day it was announced to the day it went off. It was 3-1. But you have a rankings committee. Our unnamed, we don't know what location they're in, rankings committee.
I don't even know if they're real people.
That's exactly right. We don't actually know. But they come out and they put Volk at 1 and they put Islam at 5. So you got a 4-point spread. Now, you have many, many weeks to change this, and they don't do it. They leave Islam at 5 and they leave Volk at 1. Okay, great. Then the fight goes off. So now the rankings committee and DraftKings are in direct conflict of each other. DraftKings, if they lose, is willing to part with their money. If our ranking committees loses, nothing happens because, to your point, we don't even know who they are. Then it rolls around where they have one chance to show some integrity, which is what I looked at. Taking size into consideration, which was a pound for pound is all about. And they buckled. And we knew that they were going to buckle. We knew they were, but they were put to the test. They had an opportunity to keep Volk at 1. They didn't do it.
Wait, I thought they did.
No.
Who?
No, Islam went to 1.
He's now?
Yes.
Are you sure?
100%. Islam took Volk's spot.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
No, not pound for pound.
Really?
Pound for pound, they gave it to Islam and they moved Volk to 2. Yep. And Volk was 1, Islam was 5.
This is weird. Because I'm looking at the rankings right now. It's in Russian for some bizarre reason. And you're
why
saying...
Why would you even brought it up? I mean, if they hadn't moved it, why would you even have brought it up? Of course you brought it up because they moved it.
No, I was thinking
the whole point of this was to bring in.
No, I was thinking...
Who told you about Shevchenko and Jones? I mean, that's one that you just walked from. You walked from that one so far.
What are you insinuating?
As soon as I set that down, you're like, I mean, you were giving me the set.
What are you insinuating?
You were giving
I don't know what you're talking. Legit.
And you have really been trying to move away from that one. All she has to do is come out and be a heel.
I think
let the story.
No, I think she's a very nuanced heel.
Yeah,
nuanced,
just share it.
Subtle.
Start doing a FaceTime, all of a sudden he comes into the back. You don't even address it. Little kiss comes on the cheek, right? You don't even address it. You just put it out to the world.
Crazy.
Listen, now it's out. Now all of a sudden she doesn't have to be a champion jerking curtains.
Right. I was saying this earlier. Is it possible that for the first time ever, Bellator has multiple champions that you can make a case are better than the UFC's champions?
For the first time ever, could you? Yeah. Hey, what about Coker coming out? He's doing this new gimmick about I want to do co-promotes and I'll take on anybody anytime. Then Sage Barr calls him on it.
Yeah.
And Coker actually has to load up a jumbo jet and take 5 guys over and take care of business. That was a cool move.
Sweeps him.
Yes. He didn't get enough credit for that. The risk that he took, Sage Barr called his bluff and he took the 6 guys over there. Come on, man. That was cool.
But you got Vadim Nemkov at 205. I know he has a history with Yuri, but Vadim versus Jamal Hill. Yep. Then you've got 185 Johnny Eblin. What a beast, right? Sure. Maybe not the name, but beast. Now you've got Yaroslav Amosov, who just fought this weekend, 170. You could say bad style matchup for Leon Edwards, even a Kamaru Usman, 27-0. Is this the first time? Could they, they always say, oh, greatest welterweight, best welterweight, this, that. But I feel like for the first time, 3 weight classes, and we could even talk about 45 and 55, where they can make that case. Sure. Agree or disagree?
Oh, no, I fully agree with you. Yeah, and Johnny Eblin, I mean, just speaking of him, he's better than I thought he was. Like, just by example, with the night that he beat Gegard, I thought he had this best performance, and I thought Gegard put on his worst. That's just what I chalked it up to. I talked to King Mo, and King Mo said, no, I think he's the best 85-pounder ever. And I said, well, I want to see him then. Just privately, I want to come in, I want to privately watch one of his workouts and see with my own eyes. And so King Mo invited me, and I did. And
where was this, in Florida?
The real deal. No, it was in L.A., but he had his coaches. He had Mike Brown with them. Went and did a private workout. And that's where you really see things. Like, I knew about the wrestling and about Missouri. I knew a lot about Eblin. I knew he was 12-0. But how skilled he really was, particularly at Muay Thai, not just kickboxing, put in the elbows, put in the knees. I was really impressed. Yeah. And then Amosov, I mean, this is amazing. This was the PR blunder of a lifetime, that they took Amosov's belt and let Story go and defend it because his country, he's got to go fight for his country as it gets invaded by Russia. I mean, this was set up to be the mess ever. And Amosov said, no, this is what I want. I do not want what's going on at home to affect the organization, the sport, and my division. Let them get on with it, and I'll be back when I can. That was a great move, but that part needed to be told. When they made the decision to let Storley and MVP go and fight for the belt of a guy who had to take to arms to protect his home, I was a little nervous for him. Yeah, and he looked great on Saturday. You see that fight? He did. By the way, so what is your position now with Bellator? Because I don't see you on the broadcast, but I see you putting out the videos. Dare I say, I feel like they should use you a lot more. No one knows. No one knows. There's no way to find out. No one fully understands the position or the pay or the title or what it comes with. Okay. Generally, they would not bring me to a rinky-dink podcast. Yeah. And I hope I didn't embarrass you with that. And I know I made you uncomfortable about, fine. The Queen a lot of people have be reunited at T-Mobile Arena. I was trying to make a whole big deal about us being back. And I didn't really know that you knew. I didn't know that you knew it until I said it and you got nervous. I had no idea. I have backpedaled, just for the record. I don't want to text later, why'd you do that to me? But I feel like you should be on the broadcast. I read the room and I backed out, Ariel. I even said nice. I didn't know if they were paying you. I didn't know if they weren't. Nothing. That's on the house. Sugar, but it tastes good. No added sugar, they say right there. Well, I bet they didn't. Why aren't you in the broadcast? Why aren't you on TV? Why aren't you in the cage? I feel like you should be that guy. Well, okay, so I'm in a lawsuit in Las Vegas. Okay. Yes. I mean, are we allowed to talk about this? Because sometimes you tell me. Not very much. Okay. No, not very much. But what if anything can you tell us? Because of that, right? Because of that, because that's like holding. When is that going to end? It can be 3 years. You're kidding. It could be 3 years. What's the delay? It's very fun. It's very fun for, like, the other side. It's very fun. It's very fun. Oh, they're enjoying dragging it out process. I got contacted by TMZ to tell me these people have contacted us more times than anyone else has ever contacted. But I got the same thing from, it's either called the Las Vegas Journal or the Las Vegas Review. Also contacted me to say, we have never been contacted more than we have. So, I mean, it's one of those things where. So do you have to wait? 15 minutes. Do you kind of feel like you have to wait for this to all figure itself out and then you can move on with your career? Yeah. Is it frustrating? Well, I'm used to it now. I'd rather participate than not. Yes, sure. I would rather be through it. Yeah. Thank God for the YouTube channel. Yeah, thank goodness for that. Right? I mean, you put out the blueprint. Boy, and it's coming back. I'll tell you what. That was dragging for a little bit. Really? Yeah. Why do you think? Well, YouTube got such a, or podcast or however, but it got such a bounce in the pandemic. And you don't know what people are not at work as much, and they're around more, and they can push on the button. Okay, great. That's a lazy approach, but that also makes sense, so I went with it. And then, as the world kind of got back, it was just that same thing in reverse. So, but numbers are picking back up. Yeah.
Does it annoy you that all these fighters now have YouTube channels and are copying your?
No. I think that's what they're supposed to do. No, it doesn't. It doesn't annoy me. I do think if you take a gimmick, it can be kind.
Sure.
To pass it, but
imitation, flattery. Why do sometimes I see you like you're at the pool, you've got the glasses, and you're doing a video about like some one championship fight that I've never heard of? How come? Why is that happening?
Well, so I got behind one championship, and one championship is coming to America. Well, that was the big deal, though.
Yes.
One championship is going to start doing 6 shows a year, and they're going to come to American soil to do it. And so, it was going to start to blow up. So I was kind of trying to be there first. To introduce introduce them.
Again, you need to be the face. And
first, I was trying to get in front. Well, I mean, I'm still there. They haven't come yet, but
you work for more promotions than anyone on the planet. You have more jobs with promotions than I have jobs. Period.
Can you believe that? I still wouldn't support a fight on a Sunday. Can you believe that?
I know.
I still wouldn't work out of a basement. I still wouldn't rank warm prime. For a guy that's unemployed, I mean, I come in with some pretty damn big demands, don't I?
No.
For a guy that looks like he doesn't have a team, sure seems like I've got a lot of suitors.
No, absolutely. You've got this. What about the grappling? What's going on with that?
Did that make you nervous? Why won't you talk about that?
What?
Did somebody swear you to secrecy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm the one that brought it up. I'm the one that brought it out. I mean,
the Jon Jones thing?
Yes, and Shevchenko, that.
No.
Why? Because you're getting weird. I mean, I'm even looking. You're getting. Did somebody?
I'm just trying to move the conversation along because you've gone back to this joke 10 times, and I love you like a friend.
I don't see why it's a joke. You have a world champion. You have a world champion. It's a co-main event.
These are from all the times
I have
you've
no belt at
joke.
all, and I've come over her. I'm in house. She's got the belt. She's the champion of the world. She's coming in via satellite, talking about a lake.
No, I asked her about the lake.
You probably did.
What about Eagle FC?
Yes, Eagle FC. Tell me, you got the inside scoop? Because what I had heard is that Eagle FC stopped.
No more? I mean, you worked for them too.
That's right. And Rizvan was running that. He was the CEO. So now all of a sudden, Eagle FC is done, except they're doing shows in Russia, and then a new guy comes out claiming to be the boss, and his name wasn't Rizvan. So you got an interview by another guy in Russia saying, no, we're going to keep working with Khabib, and we've already spoke to Khabib, and Eagle's going to live on. I'm going, man, these aren't the folks that we had in America, so I just don't know.
Who do you think was laundering more money, Eagle FC or Chael Sonnen circa 2011? Was that one?
I would think I had them. I mean, I did 15.2.
Stop.
Yeah. That's quick, too. I mean, I did it. I was 26 years old. I was out of the business by the time I was 27.
Oh, really?
I don't know that it took me a better part of a year, but it was within 1 year. It took 15.2.
I still don't really understand how to do that.
Most people don't.
No.
It's very sophisticated. Like in the world of organized crime, on a very serious note, in the world of organized crime, the money launderer is king. That's who people would.
Really?
He would be the most intelligent, the most sophisticated guy in the room. Yes.
Because?
Well, you have to know how to do it.
Right.
Yeah, you have to know how to do it, then you have to know how to store it. And then washing the money is
Could you tell me how?
The complicated part. I could tell you ways to do it, but I mean, you just told me back one of them too.
What do you mean?
That's a very, very common way.
What way?
It's through a fight promotion.
Oh, yeah. Really? Is this something that's done?
Back from the old day, yeah. It's one of the reasons the government got involved in the very first place in
boxing.
In regulating. Yeah.
Boxing? You still think it's being done this?
There is no free country in the world. There's communist countries. There's no free country in the world where government regulates sport except here and except boxing.
Yeah.
And that is if you got to corrupt a sport so dirty that the government has to be involved, the state police have to show up and watch you wrap your hands, you got a pretty dirty sport in front of you.
Do you think MMA should be regulated by the government?
Well, I'm glad that they do regulate it. Yeah.
Well, no, like, I mean, there's the Ali Act, there's this, I know there's commissions, but as far as the government is concerned, they don't look at MMA. They don't treat MMA the same as they do boxing.
Oh, is that right? Is that how you see it?
No?
I think with the commissions, it's pretty thorough.
You think so?
Yeah.
What are they doing that's so thorough?
Well, they're taking care of the problems that used to exist in the 50s and 60s. I mean, they're looking at the promoter, but they're also looking out for the athlete. They're making sure that the funds are in place. What they're doing with surety bonds and some of that stuff has kept a number of guys safe that would otherwise be burned.
Okay.
The world of the internet, it's a little harder to hide, but it was very common in the 60s for a guy to set up a tent over here in Jackson Hole and, to be in Los Angeles the next day with the same tent, and they would never find one another. Wow. So, yeah, it's a little bit of I think that if you study the history of it, maybe you'd answer your own question.
Are you, wow, that felt like a bit of a shot. Are you watching pro wrestling these days?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, I went
Did you see that I was involved in like one of the hottest feuds last weekend?
I was supposed to ask you something. Somebody sent me a text. I was supposed to ask you. So
Doug?
what happened there? No, he doesn't speak to me anymore.
You guys are done?
He will not speak to me.
Oh, my God.
Which is, and then in return, I can't speak to him.
Right.
You went and did something with Triple H's outfit, and it got Tony Khan got
very
upset with you.
Very much in his feelings.
And then Dave Meltzer, who's the mark of Marks.
Right.
I mean, you want to talk about a con man? Right. He even weighed in on it, and then Dave's gotten to the point where I don't listen because he's so full of it.
What do you say?
I know that it's out there.
Oh, it was a huge thing.
I know that. So what happened? Why was Tony Khan upset that
you want the story?
Yes.
Okay, so the story is, longtime wrestling fan. I do wrestling interviews from time to time. And I had Tony Khan on my YouTube channel where I do like interviews outside of the world of MMA, youtube.com/Ariel Helwani, just a small outfit. And I asked him questions that I think anyone would have asked him in an hour-and-a-half long interview about the CM Punk situation, about Cody Rhodes leaving, some stuff like that. And anytime I asked him anything that was remotely interesting, I got I can't speak about this. No comment. I can't. And if you don't want to answer something, there's a way to dance around it.
Sure.
I got no dancing. I got no comment, no comment, no comment. It was an uncomfortable interview. It wasn't a very enjoyable one. And afterwards, I said it was an uncomfortable interview and I didn't enjoy it. A lot of people got mad about that. They were very upset and they said, oh, you're a Triple H sympathizer, you're a WWE sympathizer. And I was like, all right, fine. I didn't like the interview. I've had plenty of other AEW guys on, MJF, Daniel Bryan, etc. No problem with them. Anyway, that's all well and good. Fast forward to this past weekend, WWE's in Montreal. I'm pretty much like the king of Montreal combat sports. True. Not to toot my own horn. They asked me to come by. They asked me to write this script, this essay. It's all well and good. He gets very upset that I showed up on the broadcast, calls me a fraud. But the best part said I was as legitimate of a journalist as Tony Schiavone.
Okay.
Who works for him.
Sure.
So in trying to bury me...
He put down his own guy.
Yes. Akin to saying, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Mm-hmm. What? You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? Yeah. Right? And then I went back, I replied to him. He called me an unbiased, or he said, enjoy your unbiased journalism. And then I was on the broadcast, me and George St. Pierre. Did you see this? Front row. Yeah. Michael Cole then puts me over, says I'm the world-renowned, unbiased Ariel Helwani, who asks all the hard questions, whether you want to answer them or not. And then in the back, I'm getting high fives galore. But this was the best part. Every wrestling journalist, every wrestling fan on the planet is now telling me, projecting their own thoughts and feelings onto me and telling me what I can and can't do.
Sure.
I'm not, you know this.
Sure.
Do you consider me wrestling media?
No, but I could see, you're big, and you don't know this about yourself, you're big enough that your presence helping somebody would hurt other people's feelings. I know that about you, but I also know that you don't know that about yourself. Yes.
But did I do anything wrong?
No. Oh, of course not.
I'm not a wrestling journalist. Now, if I showed up on a PFL event and I was like, hey, PFL is the best, all right, you can have some problems with that. I host an MMA show. I don't host a wrestling show. Yeah. I don't break wrestling news. I interview wrestling guys. What's going on back there? Someone, Joe, you all right?
It's not an earthquake. We'll
no.
Make it out. 15 stories under the town right now.
So what do you think?
What?
Of this feud?
Well, I don't like that happened to you. I really don't. You do miscategorize your own spot, though. I mean, you are a very big deal that can add a real legitimacy to somebody. So if one had you and the other didn't, they're going to think that's an insult whether they should or not.
Do you think I should go full on into wrestling?
No, I think there's an angle there into wrestling. And I miss pro wrestling. I think pro wrestling works. Sports entertainment has obviously done a really good job, but people that say that sports entertainment is better than professional wrestling, I don't know if you ever had an ability to compare the two. I mean, when they went to entertainment, everybody went to entertainment.
Sure.
Somebody would have to bring wrestling back to know if that's true or false. But I mean, it's rotten garbage all the way around, but it's a good, safe evening. They just came through Oregon, the AEW, and did about 8,000 tickets, and everybody had a great time. And
you enjoyed it?
Yeah, tear down, move up the interstate, do it again the next night.
How come you've never done it?
Well, I went through the power plant.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I mean, like now as Chael Sonnen.
Very different world. I don't know. The last time I had any contact with them, I was 33 years old, and they already thought I was too old. But I was just getting ready to fight Anderson Silva. And they said, if you beat Anderson and you show up on Raw with the belt, we'll give you $1 million. But you can't tell Dana. The whole thing is you can't tell Dana we're going to stick it up Dana. The $1 million is to stick it in Dana's ass. And to this day, I would have done it. I would have taken the belt. I would have been on Raw. I just don't know how it would have stuck it to Dana. I don't know how Dana would have any kind of a problem with that. I've never understood that part.
If you would have beat him at UFC 117, you would have showed up that next Monday with the belt? Wow.
Yes. And I would have showed with the belt and no contracts. Just if I would just give them my word, they would send me the money.
Wow.
And I've never to this day, and I've told this story, so only want an answer. How does that stick it to Dana? I understand, but I don't get how that hurts.
Right.
Because I wouldn't do anything that would hurt Dana, but I don't understand how that would hurt Dana.
And did you ever tell him this?
I've never understood that. No.
I guess maybe now. He loves the show. He watches all the time.
Does he watch this?
Yeah, he's a huge fan.
Good.
Huge mark for the show.
Good.
Wow, that would have been something. And so even if it didn't go, didn't go your way, they didn't revisit it?
No, I spoke to them. That was the final time I spoke to them. I spoke to them at times before that, and they said you're too old. They said, we're looking for 20-year-olds. Not from a physicality standpoint. They said, we could teach you to wrestle in 6 months, but to learn the psychology. And that's the part where I was offended. I am a master of psychology. Nobody understands psychology like I do. WWE writers contact me all the time. Chael, how would you do this? And I tell them all the time, and then I see it done. So to not understand the psychology, I thought was a little bit surprising, but that's what I was told.
When you were at the power plant, was anyone there that became a star?
Yeah.
Who?
So, there was. Well, Prince Iakea was there. He was coming through and he was training. Goldberg had popped in there.
Wow. Before he was Goldberg?
Yeah, just a couple times though. Like he had just come through and everybody treated him different and it was weird. And there's another guy. I just can't place his name. There's one other guy that I did see made TV.
Was
a huge star? No, I like Prince Iakea, but I guess I couldn't call him a huge star.
Right. And was the dude the head trainer? Was it the sergeant? Yeah. Was it really tough?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Were you throwing up and stuff?
Oh, my God, yeah.
It was bad.
I was an All-American that year. So I was in perfect shape. I was a Division I All-American, and this was only months later. And,
juice or no juice?
No juice.
Wow.
No juice. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever gotten through, was this 3 days training, yeah.
And what happened?
And all you have to do, once you've had enough, just quit. Just get your stuff and go. That's it. And on the very first, I don't know how many guys started, but on the first day before lunch, everybody was gone but 3 guys. And by the time the last day came around, there was just me and 2 other guys. And all we had to do was show up, and it was a half day, and one of them didn't even show.
Wow. Yeah. So you were the sole survivor.
A guy was a cop from Georgia. No, there was a gentleman from Jamaica. Me, a gentleman from Jamaica, and a cop from Georgia were the only ones that were left on the final day, but the cop didn't come. So me and the Jamaican were the only ones that made it.
And then what happened?
All you had to do was make it through. If you can make it, you get invited. Now, you got to understand, to be invited, you're not invited to join the company. You're invited to give them a check for $3,000 and then come train with them. I mean, it was all a marketing scam for their pro wrestling thing, but you would at least be discovered and you'd be in the same facility as the rest of the guys. So, and I made it, but it was 1998 and I had 2 years of college left. I was a sophomore, so I was going to finish college and come back, but they went out of business.
Oh my God. So if WCW does go out of business, you go down that path and not the MMA path.
Yep, I would have gone down that path, yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And now it would be a very easy road, but you got to understand what 1998 was like. The internet, people had it, but not really. Twitter wasn't a word. Facebook wasn't a word. I mean, you couldn't really get a hold of people. You kind of had to know somebody.
Sure.
Born into it. It was very tricky times. Now you could be discovered easier, but not then.
By the way, speaking of wrestling, Bo Nickal, excited about him?
Yes.
Love him.
I'm very excited about him. Disappointed that he's blown his spot this bad.
What do you mean?
Bo Nickal had the media, unlike, I mean, it was Chimaev-esque.
Yeah.
I won't say he had more than Chimaev, but it was Chimaev-esque. He gets an injury, and I mean, it got cut off. I hear he's fighting on March 4th. Is that why you brought him up?
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah. And it used to be, I mean, if Bo sneezed, I would know about it.
Now?
So I was very surprised that he let
you're out on a lot of things. But
but it's not me. I mean, if you let an injury derail you and the dirt sheets don't pick you up, the manias and the junkies and the elbows and there's nothing I can do about it. You're either out there or you're not. And if you don't know how to manipulate those things, it's a problem. You've got to know how to manipulate those things. Sure.
You're the biggest fan of the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
And the manias of the world.
Mm-hmm. Who's Bo fighting? And somebody said they brought in some bum. He's the guy's like
Jamie
12-4, and I mean, that stuff's just weird. It's just weird.
What about this Bellator?
I mean, they should be demanding. They're trying to do this with this Rachmanov. If Rachmanov is 16-0 and he can beat everybody, then put him in the goddamn world championship. Give the right guy the world title. But we don't.
You got to build him up.
We don't even demand, right? Because we have guys like you in authoritative positions that take the chicken road all the time. If this guy's that good, if he's 16-0, put him in there. Are we
trying not to sell tickets?
Well, but it's as though you're trying not to pay guys. You come from the standpoint, you come from the standpoint, I want these guys to get money. Okay, great. Here's a guy. He's 16-0. Put him later on the card where you can make some money. And then you get a guy like you to come back and go, well, I gotta put the muzzle on, make sure he stops by the MMA hour.
I don't say that.
Well, what else are you saying?
I'm the biggest proponent for paying guys in the biz.
So you claim until there's an opportunity to do it with a guy like Rachmanov or a guy like Bo Nickal. You say to hell with him, let's build his record up. And we're going to do that at 5-5 and 10-10. And I'm saying, well, if he's good enough not to do it, why are you doing that to him?
Because there's other guys who are more experienced,
is that right?
Who have put in more time. No?
So those guys can beat Bo? Like who?
Well,
who with his experience and his time can beat Bo?
At 185 pounds?
Who can beat him with his experience and his time?
Khamzat Chimaev?
Yeah, is that right?
No?
Is he an 85-pounder now?
Well, he's been talking about it with Robert Whittaker.
Have you taken any effort to make that fight?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why would I make the fight?
Well, you just said, let's not give it to Bo. Let's give
what do you want me to do? I don't work for them.
You don't think that you have a hand in making fights? You don't think you and I right here, right now can
make fights?
Help to make fights?
The truth is they watch all the time.
Help to pull Shevchenko out of the undercards? You don't think that we have the power to do that?
I think Shevchenko is must-see TV.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Who's she fighting Saturday?
Alexa Grasso.
That could be true, and it maybe not. I don't know. So Alexa's also a co-main eventer?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Great card, by the way. Yeah. But what about this Bellator Lightweight Grand Prix on March 10th? Let's talk about that.
Toughest tournament I've ever seen.
Really? Why?
Toughest tournament I've ever seen. But I view the Ultimate Fighter that way.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I've heard you say that about the Ultimate Fighter.
They will now refer to the Ultimate Fighter as the toughest tournament in sport.
Right.
And it should be. But I coined that. And you want to know where I got it? I got it from my uncle. And my uncle won the Olympics in 1964. And
what was his name?
Mel Counts, basketball.
Still, oh, right.
Yeah.
What country?
And he won that, but U.S.
Okay.
Yeah, U.S. He was on the Celtics in '65, won the championship there too.
You're kidding.
He's won two NBA championships.
Mel Counts.
Yep, in his rookie year.
Wow.
Won the world championship. But my point is, I told him about the Ultimate Fighter, and he's the one that told me, he said, Chael, I've never heard of anything like this except Olympic Village, where the athletes sleep together, eat together, ride over to the venue together, and then compete against each other. He said, I've never heard of it. In the pros, we can't even stay at the same hotels. We don't ever see each other. We can never commingle like this. It's a very unique situation. So then I brought that over to the Ultimate Fighter. But I will say that about this 55-pound tournament. I mean, there was 4 world champions in it, and then there was 3 dark horses. Sydney Outlaw gets removed, but we removed Sydney Outlaw, so we put in Ben Primus. Now there's 5 world champions in the tournament. Not to mention, you got the undefeated sitting champion in Nurmagomedov, and I'm not sure that he's the favorite. When I talk to people, they think that McKee's going to win it. But for McKee to win it, he's got to get out of the quarterfinals with Pitbull. It's a problem, man. This tournament is really hard.
Are you going to be there?
Oh, yeah.
Next week?
Oh, I'll definitely be.
Will you be on the broadcast?
No, not on the broadcast.
Why?
I'm not on the broadcast desk.
Why don't they use you?
I don't know.
I mean, you're the best in the biz.
It's true.
I want you in the I don't want you at the desk, by the way. Waste of your talent. You're gonna hate me for saying this.
I get confused. I don't know what the desk is.
I want you in the booth. I want you doing the commentary. Morrow, Big John, you.
Oh, I see. That's
what I want.
I won't be doing that. I like that team though. I think those guys do a good job.
Don't you think you can add a little bit? Morrow's the man.
He is fun.
The bipolar rock and roller.
He throws in more adjectives when a guy takes a low blow.
Yeah.
I mean, where Adam once held a fig leaf, and I mean, I've heard him say these things on the air where it's like spit your prime drink out. Like, did he really just say that? It's always something clever. So, I do think it's a great tournament though. I think it's a great tournament. I like
$1 million on the line.
I also do find it interesting. I will just tell you from a psychological standpoint how infrequently these tournaments get interrupted. Like, we are in the fake tough guy business to the highest degree. You've got these fake tough guys, and they get a phone call from Scott or Dana to go make a fight. And of course, they don't want to do it, right? I mean, these guys go hide. But for some reason, these chickens don't chicken out very often once you draw the tournament. Once you draw the bracket and you say the quarters are going into the quarters, they generally show up. The PFL has really never had a problem in comparison to every other organization with keeping fights together. And I don't know what part about the straight line bracket people get or they respect, but I will tell you the athletes generally show up.
It's a way to force them to show up.
Maybe.
Right?
It's appropriate, though.
Right.
It's very appropriate.
It's like old school wrestling. Mm-hmm. You're on the bracket, you got to finish it.
That's right.
How did you end up navigating the world of fighting to the point where you are friends with every promotion? I I've never seen anything like it. When we were doing a show together at ESPN, you were allowed to be on Bellator on Showtime.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Yeah. Well, I think I was competing over there. I don't have the answer to that and people ask me that a lot, and I think like it's a compliment. I think it's
a great compliment.
I will share that I haven't burned any bridges. Yeah, I will share that.
Is there a lesson to be learned there?
I was trying to put, by the way, the Shevchenko and Jones thing, you're going to think I'm a jerk, but you understand. I was trying to elevate her. I've got people out there talking about it. She's mad right now, wants to talk about a lake. I just said one thing about that people will find interesting.
When do you decide that it's going to be one thing? One time it was about Vince McMahon.
But they know what I said. Right. And I said that to try to be helpful. Even if I did it from a heel role, I did that to try to help the young queen who's a co-main event.
Sure.
I mean, a 1-1 kickboxer without a black belt.
By the way, is there anything wrong with being co-main event to Jon Jones?
Could you imagine? The oldest #1 contender in the sport? The oldest? Yeah, there's something embarrassing about
Did you see what he said recently about Francis? Like he said initially when I saw that he left, I said, good for him, Francis. But now I saw an interview, and I think it was with me, where he has determined that Francis was scared of him. Like he's playing, this is nonsense, right?
Yes, but it was very well done. It was just too late. Like when I saw Jon do, hey, good job, Jon.
Yeah.
And very, very seldomly do I think that. I mean, it was a week ago he talked about Stipe Miocic, and he said it'd be an honor to fight a man of that stature.
Right.
I mean, what a stupid thing. That it would be an honor to fight a man of that stature. You know, just gag me with a smurf. And it's like, why would you even say something so stupid? I mean, Stipe would represent the only #1 contender that's older than you, Jon. Why not just say that? Why not just say, I love beating up old men for a whole bunch of money? It was so weird that he did that. But for him to come out and stick a finger in Francis's chest and say, I was here and I signed. You were here and you knew I was coming. And you bailed and I came. Just like I said, for him to do that was appropriate. It's the fight business. And he should have a little bit of things stirring up with Francis. It's one of the very few times Jon Jones has done it right.
Wow. But initially he said, hey, good on you.
Sure.
Now he changed his tune.
Well, come on. Jon Jones wasn't going to come back until he changed it for all of the boys. People. I mean, come on. The whole thing's an act with him. I'm just saying, if you're going to do an act, there's a way to do it that draws, and that was it. And there's a way to say that this man's a great stature. And you got to pick. And, you know, when it comes from the same guy, it's tough.
How long are you in New York for?
Geez. I lost track of what today is. Today's
on Monday.
I'm just here till tomorrow.
Okay.
A long trip.
A lot of media lined up?
Yeah,
what do you have after this?
After this, I've actually got dinner with Danny, and you want to know what we're going to do? And you're, of course,
Danny Brenner.
Yes. You
Great Bellator PR guy.
Vodka pizza.
Wow.
We found a place. Yeah, not just a slice. Not just a slice of vodka like I usually get. We're going to sit down.
But is it, what's going on? Is everything okay down there?
What do you call the horses are out? Yeah, I missed the button. I was going to get it, and then I realized that we're live.
Do you want to do it right now?
I would reach that. No, I'm going to just hide underneath this desk.
Okay, all right. The vodka pizza, does it have actual penne? Like, does it have the pasta on the pizza?
Oh, God, pasta? What is pasta? Pasta? Are you asking me about pasta? No, there's no pasta on the pizza. That would be a carb on top of a carb.
Yes.
It would be a little bit redundant. It's the same reason they don't serve pizza with potatoes.
Oh, so you do like vodka sauce? Like
vodka sauce.
You love this, right?
I love it.
Only in New York.
Oh, can't get it anywhere else. I don't know why. They don't sell it anywhere else. I don't know why.
What's your pizza spot? I never got to go.
The one that I own is still there.
It is?
It's still there. Yeah.
Main Street Pizza?
Yeah, another guy
never invited me.
Yeah, another guy owns it and runs it now. He calls it Spectator Pizza, but he's good. It's best pizza in West Lynn. Still.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And why don't you bring...
And he'll sell it by a slice. By the way, you can get it by a slice. That's uncommon on the West Coast. On the West Coast, it's a whole pie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay, the slice is very rare.
Do they do vodka there? You should... Why?
They don't do it. I don't know.
Tell him.
I should tell him.
You've never thought of this?
No, I've only looked at menus and seen that it's not there. I've never thought about telling somebody.
You're not a business partner, though.
That it should be no. Huh?
I noticed recently in your videos, you bring the kids out more these days.
Yes.
Is that a conscious decision? Or, like,
yes, trying to. I mean, I'd like
you're very private.
I'd like to get to where, you know, when I come on trips like this, that Thera will come with me. And of course, Prix someday, but she's a little young right now. I would like to get where he comes with me. And I was this close to inviting him on this one. And then I even had to talk to him. I said, hey, son, you know, I hate to leave, but we'll get to the point where you're going to start coming with me. And I think we're to that age. I said,
How old?
It's just a situation where I can never leave you at the hotel. So you have to come with me. And I said, we're going out. We're going to see Ariel. And he said that he would like to do that.
And what happened?
Well, this was for this trip. So I told him this on Sunday on my way to the airport to let him know this is going to be one of the last times that I have to
really
without you. But
how old is he?
7.
And why is this
a little young? That's a little young.
Still a little young.
I think he could. You know, I picture him out in the green room and
be fun.
I knew we were safe. We're 20 stories.
No one's going to bother him here. There's no bums.
In your hole.
Why is this important?
Well, yeah, I would rather be around the guy. I'd rather, be an influence and show him, let him meet the guys, see the ropes.
Yeah. But so you're going to be one of those dads.
Yeah, I would much rather be. Yeah. What's the other option? You're absent dad?
No, I mean, you don't travel that much, do you?
No, it used to be a lot. It used to be twice a month.
Right.
Yeah, there'd be 2 weeks a month at home and 2 weeks
and now?
A month gone. And now it's 1 week in a month.
Okay, not too bad.
No, it's not as bad. It's not as bad.
And do you think there'll be a time where your son will follow in your footsteps? Meaning fighter.
He might try it. I don't know. I think that he is going to try wrestling. Wesleyan just won the state championship yesterday. In fact, Kevin Keeney is the first-year head coach.
Wow.
But in school history, we've never won the championship. We've been third a bunch of times. We're a top 10 team continually, but we are now officially the state champions. And so, he sees that and wants to be part of that. That's school
fun.
He'll be going to in about 5 years. So
okay,
it'll be fast.
Yeah. And has he expressed desire to be a fighter, or is he too young for that?
To wrestle. He's
just wrestling.
Yeah.
Not fighting.
He's expressed that he wants to
Will
wrestle.
your wife let him fight?
Yes. I don't think that's something that anybody would encourage, but if he
she'd
found
be okay with it. Didn't you meet your wife at a fight?
Get him gear and make sure he had a ride to practice. But I don't know that we would push it further than that. Yeah, I met her at a fight.
That's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
You were just sitting next to her, right?
No, she was passing through. It was a 3-story building, and I saw her on the bottom floor, and she got away, and I searched the whole building for her, and I found her on the middle floor.
No way.
I went up to her and I just said, my phone is dead. I got to make a phone call. And she loaned me her phone. I called myself. My phone wasn't dead. I felt it vibrate, and I handed her her phone back. And then I texted her instantly and said, careful who you loan your phone to. A lot of crazies out there.
Wow.
Had the number. Took her out the next night. Told her, I'm going to marry you.
That is an incredible story. Who taught you that?
First day I said, no one taught me that. If you hear anyone taking credit for that move, they learned that from me. That is 100% my move.
That is an incredible
100%,
move.
yes.
And had you ever used that move before?
No.
You just thought of it on the spot?
Right there.
And she didn't get creeped out by it, clearly, but in the moment.
She returned the...
How fast did it take for her to text you back?
It was pretty quick. I think she said to me, I knew you were doing that. I think she said something like that, but I don't think she did know.
What a move.
Yeah, it was pretty slick.
And how long after that are you married?
Well, I told her the next day when I took her on a date, I said, I'm going to marry you. But that was 2011, and we didn't get married till 2013. So it took a little less than 2 years.
So this was post-Anderson fight?
Yeah.
She wasn't there for any of that? But she was there for some of the other fights later on.
For part one, she wasn't there. She was there for part two.
Part two, you were just dating.
Yeah.
That was 2012. Yeah, wow, UFC 148. You remember when you did that move, the spinning back fist, and then on Raw?
Yes.
2 nights later? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Who did you do that to? We did it with Jericho,
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, we did it with Daniel Bryan,
yeah. Did you like that, or did you feel like they were mocking you?
No, I liked it very much. I knew that it was meant as a tip of the hat. I liked it.
Okay.
It was great. Punk's great.
You still speak to him?
Yeah, where is he though? Yeah, but I never know. I text him, and then he's got to work everybody. Yeah. I'm included on that list, so I never know but he really is in the doghouse right now.
I think so. I don't really talk to him as much anymore.
Because that's what he's saying. He's saying like where do I interfere?
On a scale of 1 to 10, before we wrap this up, you don't have any plans, right? You can go 2 hours if you want.
Yeah, of course.
The beauty is usually when you're on the Zoom machine, you can end it when you want.
Yeah.
Now,
how long do you have Daniel though? When your true favorite guest, Daniel Cormier is here. How long do you have him?
In studio or Zoom?
No, it's right here. It's right here.
It was only once.
Like this.
He came in 30 minutes, said he had to go. It was really annoying, actually.
And would he give you advice that Shevchenko could do? Would he reference your fellow guests? Would he talk about how the queen of the division is a heel and should just come out and be a heel? Would he give you any insights into the business like that?
Do you remember? Okay, so we did Ariel and the Bad Guy. That was like my first show.
He would know.
No, he wouldn't know anything.
I don't feel. I feel like Daniel has to wait till someone like me puts it, and then he grabs it. I don't.
Then he'll do it on his YouTube channel.
The true leader, say yours truly. A true innovator, truly the first of his kind to go first and have everybody else take the playbook and read it is me.
1,000%.
But I was wondering, because you seem to talk to him more.
No, that's not true. Actually, these days I talk to you way more. And can I tell you something?
Big surprise.
I'm a very neurotic person. I think you know this about me. When our show started in the midst of the pandemic, I actually spoke to my wife about this multiple times. Do you think Chael's jealous of the show? Because now I'm doing 2 shows. It was me and you. We had our thing. Quite frankly, could we shoot for a second? I thought that thing could have been much bigger. I thought we had something special.
Sure.
Remember us in LA?
Yeah.
Laughing up a storm?
Yes, remember that?
We were doing great stuff. Us with Ben Askren, MSG. Then the rug got pulled, yada, yada. No one cares. Point is, I always wondered if you were a little bit, I'm your guy. You can't have 2 guys.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Did you feel that way?
Yes, I felt that way. I felt like I've made that very clear.
Well, not really. Should I have called you? Was that a bad move on my part? Should I have said, hey, Chael, are you okay with this?
No.
But you felt that way.
Yes. But I wanted to put it on you, but I wouldn't say that it was your
I felt like I should have called. Oh, someone else should have called you?
Yeah, I didn't put that on you.
Okay.
No, I would think, when you got the call and here's the opportunity. No, I wanted to blame for you for that. And
I really felt like I should have. Oh. And I like sat on that for a while. I didn't know how to bring it up. I think I was afraid of what you would say. Because then what if you say you do have a problem with it?
Sure.
Then what do I do?
That could be weird.
Yeah. I'm like,
I have never begrudged you. I will tell you that. I have never for 1 second thought, you should have called. I never did. I would think I would tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't, but I think I would tell you. That really didn't happen.
So you didn't hold a grudge?
No. No. Okay. Not towards you.
What about every time I tell the story, I cry? The last event we went to together.
Okay.
Do you remember this story?
Well, tell me a little more.
Well, first of all, can we talk about I don't know, have we talked about this? Am I recycling stories here?
Well, I don't have enough yet. Okay. I need a little bit more.
Okay, this is let's end on this.
Okay.
Speaking of Jon Jones, the last time Jon Jones fought was February of 2020,
right.
Houston, Texas.
Dominic Reyes.
Yes, Houston, Texas. Sure. Do you remember that night?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What do you remember about that night?
Well, I had to leave that night. That's the night you and Ali in the hallway.
Yes.
Remember that? Okay, then we get separated.
Yes.
And then my wife calls me and she's having like a heart.
Yes.
Something happened and we should have get an ambulance.
Your wife was at the event. No, she was in Houston.
Yes.
But in the hotel.
Yes.
I'm there. Me, you, and Anthony Smith.
Yep.
Do you remember this?
I do.
We're going to eat dinner. We're in the bowels of the Toyota Center, right? And I'm walking like this, and what happens? Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you the way I remember it, though?
Go ahead.
Well, we're all headed one way. And we've got our security. It's you and me and Anthony. And then Ali and Kamar Usman. And I don't know who else was with them. I just remember Kamar. Remember he used to dress so fly? Yeah. Kamar would have the coolest jackets. And Ali, quite frankly, is also dressed to the nines. Anyway, these two were coming towards us. And I thought we all said hi to each other. I thought like I was in the process of saying hi to Kamara. That's how I remember it in my mind. But then you and Ali are attacking each other.
Not attacking.
Well, there was touching physically. You guys had grabbed at each other's collar, something along those lines. And I
collar tied him?
Well, I thought you would. Yeah, I thought you guys both had each other's
No.
collars.
He
That's
said,
how I remember.
Leave my fighter's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yes.
And I said, do you remember what I said?
Well, I remember the whole thing pretty.
I said, and what?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I had a backpack. I dropped it down. I said, please come over here and tell me what you're going to do about it. And what? Like, there has to be an and, right?
Sure. That happened.
You and Anthony tried to do what? You tried to remove me from the situation.
Yes.
The word on the street is I was so strong, so steadfast. Two behemoths such as yourself could not remove me from the situation. True or false?
This is true. This story is true.
I was fired. And I believe it was Anthony, it might have been you who said to me afterwards, I'd never seen you like that before.
Yeah, I know I said that to you.
You said it to me.
I didn't know you had that in you.
Oh, yeah.
I think is what I hit you with.
Yeah. Did your respect for me grow?
Oh, it definitely did, but I was a little uncomfortable because I really like you, and I really like Ali. Sure. I was actually uncomfortable in that moment. I said, wait a minute, Ali, he's a great guy. Wait a minute, Ariel, he's actually a great guy. But, you can't really tell two guys that.
Then you gave me incredible advice afterwards. Do you remember what you told me?
Huh.
You said, you need to get ahead of this.
Yeah.
You need to go tell our mutual boss about this because other people are going to try to sabotage you, right?
Yep.
And so they're gonna try to say that you started it, that you did this, X, Y, and Z. That was great advice. I wasn't thinking of that because I was all heated. So I did that.
Yep.
And then guess what happened? They tried to sabotage me and say that I started and did all that. So I really appreciated it.
Yeah.
Minutes later, you leave. Remember? Because you had to go with your wife.
Of course.
And then they tell me, I'm now on the desk. Now, I wasn't allowed to be on the desk, if you recall, right? I had to sit in the corner twiddling my thumbs while you guys do the desk stuff. So I got to go on once, and I thought I did a pretty good job, but I felt it was at your expense, and I didn't like that.
Sure, I appreciate that. Thank you.
It felt weird. And then, of course, I never got to do it again because the pandemic hit the following month. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Your wife ended up being okay.
Yep.
Right? Thank God. But then the following month, as a result of this little thing that happened, they told me I couldn't go through the certain exit or entrance to get into the T-Mobile Arena because that was Israel Adesanya against Yoel Romero fight. Do you remember this? Yes?
Yeah.
They said, we got to the front. They're like, Ariel, you have to go through the freight elevator.
Yep.
Because I was that much of a
they had like wanted posters on the pillars.
I was not allowed to go down to get food. I was banned from downstairs. Everyone got out of the car except for you. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You said, I'm going with him. Oh, it's one of the nicest things anyone's ever done.
I always roll with you, buddy.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, do it again.
I never forgot that. And every time I tell the story, I get emotional. And we would sit in the back of T-Mobile, like in the little arena. We'd have our little charcuterie. We'd have the, Elizabeth would have it out for us. And it was some of the best times. We didn't want to talk to anyone. It was kind of a scene. just you and me back there. Those were great times.
Those were great times.
They were great.
And it was kind of important to have like a somber, there was parts of the show that you really had to take in, get your energy back up.
Sure.
Yeah. When that turned into too much of a party scene, how you doing, handshake.
Now you're not watching.
It was exhausting.
Yeah, too much. And we got to be there for like 7 hours.
But I'm glad that story meant something to you. And I'd stand by you again and again.
What
Even
a guy.
down here in the basement.
What a guy. Well, I miss you. This has been nice. I think we should do it more.
Thank you.
I think we should do it again. No, it's been fantastic. Now, here's the thing. When we have in-studio guests, I've been doing this gimmick. Have you seen it? Well, in-studio guests, I'm a big fan of darts. Yeah. You know about darts?
I knew that you just got into darts.
Yes, I got into darts big time. I know you like to browse my Twitter feed, even though you don't follow me, never followed me. And so what I do is, I'm just pointing. I'm just looking.
Sure.
Before our guests leave, we play a game of 3 versus 3.
Okay.
Meaning you take 3 shots, I take 3 shots. Okay? And we see who gets the most amount of points.
Sure.
Are you okay with this? Especially considering the situation.
Yeah.
With the buttons on your pants.
Oh, yeah.
You want to turn around?
Can you see the buttons? I mean, have I not? Oh, God, I'm missing 2 buttons. Multiple buttons. No, I'm good. People can see the buttons.
We're going to go full screen here. So you can, here we go. Full screen. You're not on camera.
Right. Miss Brittany packed this outfit, I should tell you.
I know. She's fantastic. So these are the rankings.
Okay.
I beat Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
He was in here. I beat KSI last Wednesday. I beat Eddie Hearn. But the undefeated Australian Olympian,
Cody Rhodes, wow, what an unloyal guy. Stabbed Vince in the back and worked his way back into it.
Look at the picture.
You got to be careful when you stab people in the back.
Look at the
like
picture
that.
GC shows of
you. Don't usually hold up. How was Cody? Is he a nice guy?
He was great.
He was great?
Yeah. Bottom
Did you
right.
call him on his lack of loyalty?
No, he was fantastic.
Really?
Look at the picture of you. Because you're always fixing the glasses.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to fix the part here on the bridge.
You don't say to Cody ever, you don't go, hey, what's it like to wake up and the guy that set the table for your entire family, He's
back.
Yeah, I understand they took him back, but I'm saying, do you ever ask him about the lack of loyalty?
No, never.
Doesn't come up?
I'm a disloyal guy myself.
Sure.
So there you go. Are we
going to play darts or not? Why am I looking at these jobbers? Let's throw some darts around. All right.
Ariel versus the bad guy. Now, here's the thing. I'm a mensch. I'm a great guess.
Okay.
I always let
I'll take these.
Okay, and I let you do 1 practice shot.
Oh, no, I'm ready to play.
Where are you looking?
I don't know where the dartboard is. Oh. No, I'm ready. No, practice shot. Are we ready? No. Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes or no?
Joe, are we ready? We're ready. Okay. Oh my.
Do I throw them all?
Yes. Wow. Holy shit, Chael.
All right, there, heel one. Never in my life have I held a dart that I know of. That if that's 12? Not a true statement. Never that I know.
19. So what's 19 plus 6 is 25?
I date girls and things like that.
Plus 12 is 37. Now, Joe, is this a 12 or a 15?
15.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me do this again. 19 plus 6 is 25. Plus 15 is 40.
No one knows. Maybe. That sounds right.
Chill. This
All right,
is
let's
big.
see it.
Wow. I could tell by your form that
you'd have Cody Rhodes. You want to say, hey, what about the McMahon
never.
set the table?
I'm a little nervous here.
You wouldn't have had clothes growing up. Your fat slob of a father couldn't have. You didn't say anything like this.
No, nothing. And here's the thing. You have to put your foot like this and bend a little bit. Okay?
Your father looked like he had no athleticism, but Vince gave him millions. You didn't, like this doesn't come up?
Oh.
All right, here's something.
18 or is that a triple 18?
You decide, this is a decent guy.
Is it a triple 18?
Tattooed his neck, turned on the business.
What is that, 17?
Got another guy to buy in, then turned his back on him too. You didn't, but those things didn't come up. I feel like you could have had a lot better interview with Cody Rhodes if you would have.
18 times 3 is what?
Shot with
36?
No one knows for sure.
18 times 3.
No, it's more than that.
What is it? Go on the speaker.
No, it's 60 minus 6, 54.
60, 54 plus 4 is 58, plus 17 is 75?
Who won?
Me.
Good job, buddy.
You're the man.
Good job. You really didn't ask Cody about that, though? You didn't
By the way, I've been working out lately.
Kicked you right in the nuts.
You
look good. You look good.
How about this?
Are we done? Is this interview? I can't tell what's happening here.
Yeah,
Why do you get so nervous about Cody? You got just as nervy over Shevchenko, too. I'm trying to make things over here.
I just whooped your butt in darts.
Well, I understand that, but Cody tattooed a thing on his neck. It's not like he had a whole lot of options.
I'm just really impressed by that. I just shot a 75. That might be my record.
I don't know how you score darts.
No, it's just by the. It was a lot of fun though. You look great up there. All right. Well, I think we're out of time. Yeah. No one has ever actually gone back to the chair though. That's the problem. So Joe,
I don't know what to do. I'm happy to. We just get up and walk out. All right. Thanks, Helwani.
Hey, well, we're gonna take a quick break. Look at this interview with Action Bronson. Chael P. Ariel versus the bad guy, and once again, Helwani wins.